Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Chopsticks Alley Talk Live. We're doing an after dark talk because we're talking about money tonight. And as you know, with the Asian community, especially the Vietnamese Americans community, we don't like to talk about money. But tonight, to do this, I have invited two special guests who will help us with the topic tonight. First, I'd like to introduce you, Sarah Adeel, who's with Kiva.
Hi everyone, it's a pleasure to be here. Looking forward.
And also my very special guest, who will be my special expert and co-host tonight, Suzanna Lam.
Hello everybody, good evening. I'm so glad to be here with you.
And we are thrilled to have you joining us tonight. And again, our line is open, so if you want to type your comment or questions, we would love to welcome, and help you answer whatever business questions you have for getting loans. So that's what this show is about. But first, I'd like to remind you to follow Chopsticks Alley on Instagram. We also have a podcast on SoundCloud and a Facebook page, of course. And if you want to send us any questions for future shows or want to sponsor our show, send an email to chopsticksalley@gmail.com. So let's get right into the matter. But before we do, we do want to recognize victims of the recent hurricanes and all kinds of natural disasters from Mexico to Puerto Rico to Florida to Texas. Our hearts are with you, and we're going to do whatever we can to try to raise some funds so we can send them your way. Sounds like a good idea.
Oh yeah.
We'll do it tonight.
Yes, let's do it tonight.
Do it tonight. I'm ready.
She's going to sign the first check.
Great.
So Sarah, tell us what exactly is Kiva?
So Kiva is world's largest crowd lending platform, and the reason why Kiva was created was to help people who have small businesses. So you can raise money with Kiva, and in the US you can raise money that actually has no interest on it.
Wow, I love it. Now, I heard about Kiva a long time ago, and I actually donated money, but most of them were third world countries. So when did Kiva become available in the US?
So that's the misconception a lot of people still have, that Kiva doesn't exist in US, because that's true that Kiva was started in 2005 worldwide. The headquarters in San Francisco. But we started Kiva US, which is also helping the entrepreneurs and small businesses in the US 4 or 5 years ago. So now Kiva also exists in a lot of countries in the US.
And I know that in the third world countries, you can get loans for like $25 and things. How much can you borrow in the US?
So the ceiling is $10,000. You can raise up to $10,000 with no interest within 30 days.
That's great. Well, I want to ask you immediately, right? Like, why, as Vietnamese, we don't like to borrow money. So should we borrow money?
I remember when I was growing up, my mom told me to never borrow money. Even if I'm on the verge of dying, do not borrow money because it's debt, and debt is not good.
And
in
it's
our culture.
Shameful.
Yes. But you know what? In America, when you run a business, you should borrow other people's money. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Is it a cultural thing in Vietnam that borrowing money is not good, even
That means
when
that
you
you're
really
not
need it?
right. That means you're not independent. You depend on somebody for money, right? So it's being looked down.
Yeah.
But here in America, we have bankruptcy law. So if there's something that is wrong with your business, you need to reorganize your business. You have Chapter 11, Chapter 13 that protects you. So a lot of businesses out there actually borrow a lot of money. You don't want to over leverage, meaning you borrow more than your ability to pay back, but you do want to leverage other people's money. Absolutely.
Which makes sense. Like one thing you mentioned that it really resonates with me is I feel like our people, we're not mentally ready to be big. So that's why we only think small. We open a small restaurant, we open a small this and that. But why should we think differently? I mean, can we be big or?
Absolutely, we can. Why not?
I don't see a reason why.
If you want to expand,
can be big,
right? If you want to expand, you gotta have more capital.
Right.
To raise capital.
Businesses are supposed to scale, and that's where the capital comes handy, right?
Yeah.
You're doing well, you start another restaurant or food stall, and then you start another, and that's very important for any business to grow.
Right. And so tell me about Kiva. So let's say I decide I have a restaurant already, but my refrigerator is on its last leg, right? So for me, I guess I'll just pull out the credit card and charge, I mean, is that a smart thing to do, or can I go on Kiva and ask for some money?
Absolutely. What all you have to do is go on Kiva, create a profile on kiva.org, and start your application. The application takes 20 minutes to fill. They don't ask for your credit scores, they don't ask for business plans, they don't ask for any collateral. The only thing we're looking for is your character. So once you're done your application, the applicants go into a private fundraising period. Whatever money you're trying to raise, you are expected to bring 5 or 6 people from your friends and family circle, and that's the only social underwriting we do, to give you as little as $25. Right?
So I have to be good to my mom and my dad, my sisters and my brothers and my friends, right? Before I go and apply for a loan.
Yeah, and that's also a great way of to see that this person is trusted by their community before they go out and ask for loans from the rest of the world. So that's the only social underwriting that we have. So once you're done with this private fundraising, then your application goes live. Then we have 1.8 million lenders who see your application, who would give you as little as $25 or $100 or $200, and it's a loan. And the best thing about Kiva is that once you return that money, that lender can give the same money to someone else. So the money gets recycled. And not one, but many people can be helped with just that $125.
That's wonderful, because I do remember that, and I think there's a $25 of mine floating in the Kiva system somewhere.
You should check it and give it to a San Jose small business.
That's true, right? Yeah. And so when you borrow the money, how do you have to pay it back, or how does that work? Do you have a long time to pay it back?
So it depends on the amount that you're borrowing, right? So for example, if I am raising $10,000, then I get 3 years to return that money. If I'm raising anything below $5,000, then I get 2 years to return that money. So it's just 2 to 3 years, and that makes it very easy, because if you divide 12 or 24 or 36 by the amount that you're raising, that's all you have to return, because there's no interest, which I think is something that really makes Kiva stand out in the crowd. No interest.
So from a Vietnamese perspective, don't you think the first question is why? What's in it for you, right?
Wasn't it for me as the borrower, or what is it for me as a lender? For Kiva.
Kiva is a non-profit organization, and the whole idea why Kiva was created was so people can help people, right? And I think what we get out of it is connection and community that is created around helping people. If I'm raising money and you give me $25, I would know who you are, and that's the connection. That's the most precious thing.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
Yeah, that sounds too good to be true.
Right. So I feel like it just sounds too good to be true.
Too good to be true. Okay, so I'm putting my TPA hat on now, right? So I go, okay, somebody in the ecosystem has to make money, right? I mean, somebody will have to pay you a salary to run this Kiva organization. And if the borrower is not paying interest, and the lender, that whoever is giving the borrower money, getting any money, there has to be money somewhere that supports that
the operation.
The operation. Yeah. So
Absolutely.
how does that work?
So how this works is that we have devised some really smart ways of partnering with other big tech companies in the valley. Like for example, if there's a big tech company and they have a huge amount in their CSR, what they would do is they can create $25 cards and create an employee engagement program. And then they would give those $25 cards to all the employees and tell them, why don't you go on the Kiva website, see a business that you like, and give these $25 to all these people. Now, the employees are happy, they're giving the money to their favorite small business. Now when that small business returns that money, instead of that money going back to the big tech company, it comes to Kiva as a big donation. So it's a win-win for everybody, right? Starting from the big tech company who gets a huge tax exemption, the employees who get really happy because they feel like they have helped somebody, all the borrowers who get this big amount in loans, and then at the end, Kiva, who's the platform. So it's like a step-by-step process for everyone's win. That's how we make money.
Wow, that's really great.
And it's a smart way of doing good, right?
Yeah. Now, the only thing I can compare the way of doing this with the Vietnamese community, which we've been doing for hundreds of years, and my mom makes me do it all the time, is chơi hoi, right? And can you
Money
tell us
club, money
yes,
club.
money club. It's
Money
like a
club.
money club.
Money
Can you
club.
explain a little bit for our young audience what chơi hoi is?
Chơi hoi, money club, right? In Vietnamese, it's chơi hoi. So basically, it's a way for housewives, or it's mostly played by ladies, women, not men, right? So this is
Gender exclusive.
Because they come together and chit chat and eat, right?
Yes. So like the three of us here, and I go, you know what? I have a business venture and I need some money. And you go, okay, well, we can raise some money. Sarah here has 10,000. I have 10,000. You can borrow money from us.
Oh.
And I said, wonderful. Okay. And then you go, I also have a business venture, but I only need 5,000 now. I don't need 20,000. Right, and so basically both of you would put your money in, and then I would be the one taking the 20 grand first to do the business.
And then next month it'll be like my turn, and next month it'll be your turn.
So everyone gets benefited.
Yes. So the idea is like you put your savings basically in this pot, and trust is very important.
Exactly.
And of course there are incidences where people do this, take the pot and run, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
So you want to make sure you're in the in circle.
In the circle,
right?
That's
In the
right.
circle
In
of
the
trust.
circle, like
Circle of trust.
That's right. That's
So
right.
it's sort of like a lending circle, right?
Yes.
Even Kiva does something like that. So apart from like the regular loans that we do on our website, we also deal with a lot of people who are not very tech savvy, right? Who don't know how to go online and finish their application and have a PayPal account. So what we do with them, we create 6 people lending circles, and each person can raise $2,000 at the same time. And also the private fundraising that I was talking about, where they have to find friends and family, they cross-lend to each other, and their private fundraising is done within an hour. And then everyone raises money together, and everyone raises $2,000.
Oh, I'm not aware of that.
Yeah, and we just created this program especially for people who are not tech savvy or who need a lot of hand holding. And that has helped so many people, and especially in San Jose, our lending circles are like expanding by the day.
Wow.
And we have a small team, so sometimes it's really hard to handle because we get more requests than we can supply. So Lending Circle has been a really successful program that we've launched.
So
I
you're
think you
telling
and I have to get on it, right?
So you're telling me
away.
that there are more money wanting money than people who have money to lend?
No, I'm telling you that my team is very small to help everybody else because we just started 6 months ago.
Yeah, so I did a little research, right? So apparently there are 2 different platforms. One, I think you're referring to the one that's being operated here in the US, and then there's another one that's being operated outside of the US. Okay?
Yes.
Yeah? Sounds okay.
Yeah.
So the one we're talking about here is in the US,
It's
right?
Kiva US program.
You have to raise money from your families, friends, circle of friends before Kiva would jump in and lend money or lenders.
Or make it publicly for
Yeah.
others outside of your circle to borrow.
It's a small
to lend.
number of people that you have to bring on board who can give you as little as $25.
Okay.
That's the social underwriting we do. Because we're
Oh.
not asking for anything else, right? The only thing we ask for is like, does your family and friend trust you? That's all we need to know. We're not asking for credit score.
You're like, can I borrow $5? And they're like, no. Click. You're like, oops.
So that's like 10 or 12 people that you can bring, and once they're done, then it's very evident that okay, this person is trustworthy. Now let's take him to the public fundraising period,
Okay.
and then everyone can fund you, even people who don't know you.
Oh, okay. All
So
right.
with the lenders, we
With the
have-
help, for example, so I'm mom and pop. I don't even barely use a computer, but I use text. So I don't even know how to upload my picture, type my story. So Kiva, your department here in San Jose,
Yes.
and elsewhere in the U.S. can literally help
Yeah.
walk this person who may not even speak English
Exactly.
through this process.
Absolutely.
And I love this because for our elders who have worked so hard, to raise kids who are doctors and lawyers and all this, but you still see them plugging away at their little mom and pop shop.
Mm-hmm.
And at times, when I used to work for the SBDC, I would come in and I would ask, tell them, there are all these different loan programs. They don't trust that there's, like, why am I there? And they think I'm there to trap them or do stuff. But you're in the US now, and the US has these incredible programs, both from the federal government or privately, that can do this. And,
Absolutely.
you know,
And we have even translated the flyers into Vietnamese. And we can leave them anywhere where people would like to see them. There's a Vietnamese grocery store right next to my house. I left them there and they were gone the next day.
Wonderful.
So we have help from the city council, a person who speaks Vietnamese who's willing to go and handhold anybody who needs help from like A to Z.
So do you have a current Vietnamese borrower right now?
We do, and her name is Dawn. She just started recently, and I think she is about to go into her public fundraising period.
What's her business?
She is a massage therapist.
Massage therapist.
Yes.
So if one were to want to verify this information, they can go on kiva.org,
Yeah.
look up massage business. You can even look up city.
You can look up city. I think we are more focused on cities
City,
than
okay.
business, because business gets very varied.
That's
People use
true.
different names, but you can totally look at the San Jose people fundraising right now. She will be public very soon.
Wow. So that's the thing, like you can see the proof is in the pudding, so to speak, and learn that, you know, there's so many good programs out there, and don't be fearful, right? Don't you think that's like something that our people just have ingrained in us, maybe because of the war and running around so much, but we're afraid.
This is a normal business practice when you run a business. When you are short on the money and you need quick money,
Yeah.
right? Very quick, the application process. It's not gonna take
30 days.
30
and you're
days,
done.
you're done. Okay. So I guess if you need money, you can just go. What is the average loan that you have made so far in the U.S.? Do you know?
Average loan or
Yeah.
the ceiling? So our ceiling is 10,000.
I know, but what is the average loan that you have
What
made
do
so
people
far
ask for?
since the beginning or the inception of this program
Oh.
in the U.S.?
So we have given $1 billion in loans already.
Wow.
One billion.
1 billion.
And we just hit the 1 billion mark.
Is that around
2
the
months
world
ago.
or in the
It's
U.S.
around
only?
the world.
Around the world.
US is
Okay.
our newest program, right? We started a few years ago. But even in the last few years, we've seen great progress in the
Yeah.
US. And if you calculate all of that, we've given out more than 1 billion now, obviously, in loans.
Okay.
Wow.
So I looked at the audited financial statements of Kiva on the internet. It's actually all the financial information relating to this organization is listed on the website.
Because it's a nonprofit.
Very, very transparent, ladies and gentlemen. So we can just go. The question is, do you actually take the time to read it? And I do.
That's your expertise.
You are a CPA, of
Right.
course.
Okay. And so I'm kind of scratching my head, right? So it says right. So everything in here has been audited by a publicly a CPA firm, and it says that for the previous year, which is 2016, the direct loans, the loans that were made in the United States, was about 18 million.
Yes.
Okay. And
Well, you did more research than I
Yes,
did.
yes,
That's
did.
wonderful.
See, the expert.
13,000 loans, direct loans were made. So I did my calculation, 18 million divided by 13,000 loans. So on average, each loan is about $1,300.
Yeah.
So 1384. Okay. So this is not a huge amount. Do you know why the ceiling is 10,000 and yet the loans that have been made
Because
was only
because
1,300?
the presence of Kiva US is in some cities, and we haven't expanded to every city, right? And sometimes people, and this average is like you're dividing all of that. Some people
Yeah,
raise
there's
5,
like the
some people raise
extreme,
8, some
yeah.
people raise 2, some people raise 10. So it's all different sorts of amount being raised at the moment. So I don't think that probably is the right way to get the average,
Yeah.
because every person has a different need, right?
Yeah, because when you think, if I only need a refrigerator, I mean, it's not going to be $10,000 for God's sakes, right? But if I need to remodel the front of my business, that's $10,000.
So it's a very varied,
it's very
big
varied.
spectrum. Some people raise 1, some people raise 10, and if you collect all of them, then it becomes 1.
So, but the minimum is 25. Is there a minimum?
So you
hopefully
can,
you don't need to borrow money. If anyone needs $25, just send an email to chopsticksalley@gmail.com. We'll send you $25. Okay, you can skip the whole
can
Kiva
raise-
thing.
you can raise anything between $1,000 and $10,000.
$1,000 to $10,000.
$10,000, and
Got it.
10,000 is the ceiling.
Okay, so what kind of business?
And we're thinking of it, taking that ceiling up to 25. We're considering that, and it's going to be for people who have shown a lot of progress in their business. So we might jump to 25 as well.
Especially in California, I think that number is much more realistic to make a big difference.
So what kind of business would benefit from this?
Oh, so that's exactly what I was saying. The spectrum is really broad, right? On one hand, we have a lot of Hispanic ladies who are selling at the flea market. On the other hand, we have small startups who can use $10,000 to build a new website or have a marketing campaign. And in the middle, we have these really creative makers who make soaps or candles or graphic designer who can use, so anyone who can use $10,000 to augment their business is eligible to apply.
And also, I imagine with the low numbers that you're quoting, because Kiva is so new, like for me, if I'm going to try and borrow money, I'm not going to go for the 10,000, right? If I'm like selling flowers or something, I might just try a little bit and see how that works and then come back. And because it's so young, your program, that it's probably going to take a while before.
Yes. And I think, and the Kiva's repayment rate is really great. People tend to pay back. And the reason why it's so good is because we really encourage repeat borrowers. For example, if I raised $5,000 in my first go because I wasn't sure about Kiva or the platform, and if I've paid back that money and my business has shown some progress, I can always come back to Kiva and raise another 10. And I can do it as many times as I like. And a lot of people have done that. And that's also one of the reasons why the repayment rate is so great, because people want to stay in the good books because they want to raise these no interest loans over and over again. And it's also like the community that comes with Kiva, which is very important for people that they don't want to lose.
Right.
So you can come and raise money with Kiva 5 times if you like, as long as you have paid your previous loan.
That's great. I love it, because why not? If you can get it from, come back over and over, because now you have credibility. Now, from a lender's perspective, so let's say I'm going to put $100 in to help somebody, and what if they don't pay me back? How does that work?
I think that's the risk that we have to take anyway, right? One good thing is that there's a great repayment rate, but we can't say that it's 100% repayment rate. There are a lot of people who have some unforeseen events in their life that they won't be able to pay back. Kiva doesn't take any legal action against them, but we do give them a lot of time and leverage and whatever they need to pay that money back. So that's a risk that the lenders have to take, and that is the risk that Kiva sometimes has to take too, because we understand that anything can happen, people won't be able to pay, and that's acceptable.
Yeah,
it's only human, right?
So if I lend 100, but let's say I'm now hitting hardship, or for whatever reason I want to take my money back, can I? Or
yes, you can always take your money back, or you can recycle it and give it to someone else.
Oh, wonderful.
It's all connected with PayPal, so all the transactions are happening on PayPal. So you can always take your money out from PayPal like any regular.
At moment's notice?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
PayPal,
awesome.
right? Yeah, exactly.
Are
you be like an Indian giver? Should I say that? That's probably politically incorrect at this moment. Okay, so wow, I feel like I have so much knowledge, but I will profess that I met Sarah a few months back, maybe even 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And she's like, Chopsticks Alley could grow. Chopsticks Alley could definitely be the first in San Jose to borrow money. And I'm like, yeah, sure. And I even give talks about don't think small, think big, make your business big. You should use other people's money. Yet, I'm like, I don't want to borrow money. I still have such a hurdle. How can I overcome that hurdle? I mean,
just go do it.
Just do it.
Just go do it.
Like try $1,000.
Yeah, do you have an app? Do you guys have an app?
Yeah, right?
Yes.
The website.
The website works perfectly. It's adaptive.
So just try. I should just try like $1,000.
Yeah, just try and do it, and that will make you so comfortable.
And buy an iPhone. They have an iPhone coming out, right? $1,000.
Business investment. Trami's iPhone. well, they'll lend money for that, right? You
need to have a business. Small business, even if it's a small business purpose.
Speaking of which, does it have to be like incorporated, or can it just be a mom and pop, but I have no official incorporation?
We help a lot of mom and pop shops. We also help a lot of food cart owners. So the whole idea is to help people that no one else is helping, right? People who can't go to banks to get loans. Kiva exists to help that kind of excluded, especially minorities.
What about like multi-tier marketing? So let's say I want to sell Avon. and Avon has a startup fee. Can I borrow money for
Yes, you can buy.
Really?
You can borrow money for your legal fees. You can buy money for registration. Anything that is linked to your business somehow is allowed. I think the only people who can't borrow money through Kiva are people who have been bankrupt. That's something that we.
Ooh, so there's the catch.
There's one catch.
There's a catch.
You have to be above 18 and never in bankruptcy. These are the only two rules we have.
That's good.
Why is that? I mean, I would think that when you file BK bankruptcy, you need another chance. So why can't Kiva give these people a chance? Another chance.
It's a great question, but I wish I had the answer to that. I don't.
We'll bring it upstairs.
Who's your boss? Let me email her. Well, you know, I find it really fascinating that there are these different programs that helps all kinds of businesses. What do you think?
I love it.
Right?
Yeah.
Don't you feel like you want to go tell all your friends and family about this?
Yes, I mean, I like I said, there are two different programs. The program in the US, I'm in, right? I'm not so sure about the program outside of the US because I mean it's very transparent, right? Kiva is a very transparent company and everything is in the audited financial statement. And so it says right here, so you have to partner up with field partners, right? So local banks outside of the country. So let's say Kenya. Kenya is one of the most, I guess,
loan lenders
need the money the most, right? And so, and this is not from me. This is from your auditor,
yes,
right? And it says right here that your partners actually make between 26% to 34% on the interest, right?
That's global, not in the US.
Right, that's global, not in the US. So in the US, no interest, you know, awesome. We feel good
Sarah,
about doing
Sarah
something.
specializes in
right?
the US, so we can't
Right?
ask her these questions that are
So
outside of her expertise.
so we
right?
need to like, you know, be transparent with our audience here that awesome, right? Kiva is an awesome organization. But at the same time, you know, make sure as lenders, right? Because really, when you and me, we put in $100 to lend to people, and we're thinking that we're helping people, right? But actually, the people in Kenya, how much of that $100 do they benefit?
Yeah, and I think
right?
we don't
Just
know
being
the answer
critical,
to this,
yeah.
but I think overall, Kiva's rated very high on this type of platform and nonprofit worldwide. And because of their success worldwide, that's why they bring it to the US.
Yes.
So I definitely want to, stand up for Sarah and Kiva here, because that I have experience with Kiva years before I met Sarah, and we've donated through my women's networking club, shout out to them. And we donated, and we saw the success of a woman who wants to raise chickens, and the chickens will produce more chickens, and that $25 really helped them.
Yes.
And we can sit here all day and debate about this and that, but at the end of the day, Kiva is helping people. And I do also want to clarify that Kiva did sponsor our show for today, so that way we have the time and platform to discuss what is helpful for Vietnamese businesses in the US.
Yes.
Now, if you have further questions, certainly, Kiva, is there an email that they can send to?
Absolutely. Anyone can reach me at sarah@kiva.org. So it's my spelling, SARAHA@kiva.org.
Thank you so much for that. And also, you have an event coming up November 1st.
Absolutely. So San Jose and Peninsula is one of our newest offices. We just started a couple of months ago. And we're doing a city launch in San Jose on November 1st. And if anyone's interested, Trami can share a link with you where you can sign up, and you will get an invitation to join us and meet our borrowers and partners and see how community is helping community. And I think that's going to be a really interesting evening. That will be an antithesis of Silicon Valley has an empathy vacuum, because it doesn't. Companies like Kiva and people who are helping people are just negating the fact that there's no empathy here. So I would love to hear from you, and would love to have you attend the event as well.
And that would be a good time for you, Suzanna, to come and talk to the CEO and ask
Talk to the guy upstairs.
Yes, this very difficult question, right? But if you want to send us an email to inquire so we can send you further information, it's chopsticksalley@gmail.com. We'll also post this information on our website after the show. And let's see, the location's going to be at the Corinthian Grand Ballroom on November 1st from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. and space is limited. So you definitely want to get on that Eventbrite, is that correct? So that way you can get to the link and register, and it only costs $10, but that's $10 that could change your life.
Yes.
Right? And then meet other lenders and borrowers as well, and get these questions answered. Why not?
In person.
So thank you again for joining us, and we hope that you will like us on Instagram and Facebook, and follow our podcast as well. We just released a second version of Ho Chi Minh, which was very controversial, and I actually lost a few Facebook friends because of it. So you definitely should come, listen to that soundcloud.com/Chopsticks Alley. And thank you so much to my lovely guest for joining us tonight.
Thanks so much for having me. It was wonderful.
Yes, thank you. We'll definitely have you come back because you'll miss controversy.
Bye, everybody.